ਅਸੀਂ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਕੁਝ ਮਹੀਨਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਂਝ ਪਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਬਿਹਤਰ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸਮੈਨ ਬਣਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇਸੇ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਵਿੱਚ ਦਰਸ਼ ਸਿੱਧੂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਨਾਮਵਰ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਮੈਨੇਜਮੈਂਟ ਕੰਸਲਟੈਂਟ ਹਨ, ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਆ ਕੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਿਆ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਦੱਸਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀਜ਼ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਸਕਸੈਸਫੁਲ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਲੀਡਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀਜ਼ ਅਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਨੇਜਮੈਂਟ ਸਕਿੱਲਸ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਦਰਸ਼ ਸਿੱਧੂ ਦਾ। ਜੈਨ ਜੀ, ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਦ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ। Thank you. So let's today focus upon, of course, you have laid out the procedure as to how you should start your business, but you cannot succeed until unless you have that ability, those skills to run that business. So if you could focus today on the leadership skills which are required and also the management skills which one should have to be a successful business person.
Of course. Well, when it comes to, let's talk about small businesses, you know, you have that entrepreneurial passion.
Right.
You have to make sure that that doesn't get in the way and block you from becoming a good leader.
Right.
You can't focus and have that tunnel vision of just my business, and not looking at all of the other important aspects to running that business. And a big one of that, a big aspect of that is leadership, and that is leading by example, especially if you have employees. I mean, if you're your only employee, your sole sort of working force, then it's a bit of a different story. But if you do have employees, then you need to lead by example. You need to set a tone in your business. Allow your employees to come to you. That doesn't mean that you're best friends with them. I don't think that that's a good way to lead. I don't think that's a good way to manage, because it blurs the lines. It doesn't create any type of authority. So leading by example is very important. And when you do that, that also means that you let your employees know, look, I know everything you're doing. I've done what you've done. Whether it's, you know, the front end part of it, the reception end of it, they know everything that's involved with every job. So your employees can be confident that when they come to you, you understand what they're talking about. You can relate to the problems that they're having, so that you can help them find an effective solution. You're leading your team. You're leading your team forward. You're working together as a group and a cohesive group.
You said not to be friends with your employees, but many times we hear the opposite. It says you should be friendly with your employees so that you are at par with them. They don't feel any hesitation in talking to you and opening up with any issues or challenges. So if you could elaborate on this particular point.
Sure. The way I feel about it is, you know, there's a friendly approach, there's a friendly attitude, but being, you know, it's very difficult to be friends at work and get the job done. I mean, it does also depend on what type of work you do. But if you're in a position where you're in upper management and you're trying to have a friendly relationship with your employees, I think that it creates, you know, it depends on your definition of friendship. You know, I think of my actual friends in real life, and it's hard because, you know, you confide in them. There's that personal aspect, and I think that when you come to work, you need to have some sort of professional foundation, where, you know, things that we all have problems at home, we have things that happen at home, but if you feel like it's okay to bring them into the workplace and you know, talk about them and let those things sort of take over your time at work, it affects the whole company. You know, that doesn't mean that those problems aren't important. They're very important. But as a leader, as a manager, you need to let your employees know that, look, if you're having a problem at home, if you are too stressed, if there's something going on, come to me in a professional capacity so I can help you deal with that within the workplace in a professional way. If that means you need the day off, if that means you need to take a couple of hours, if that means we need to arrange for some sort of counseling or something for you, then you're dealing with it within the professional boundaries. But creating a very kind of friendly, that sort of atmosphere, I don't know that that's always the best way to go, especially if it's starting to role reverse. If you feel that your employees are now telling you what to do, or your employees are not listening to you, and I say this out of experience of dealing with a lot of clients saying, my employees don't listen. I've talked to them about policy and procedure, and they say, I've given it to them, but they don't do it. And I say, well, why is that? Because there's no level of leadership there. You need to be a clear leader,
Right.
and you need to be the one that they come to solve those problems.
So leading by example is one attribute what one should have. What are the other qualities which you would recommend?
Problem solving. I think that creating an environment that is open for your employees to come to you and say, as an employee, this is the problem I'm facing in my job. You need to help them find a solution, and if
Right.
they're not capable of finding the solution, you need to provide them with a solution. That gives them the confidence that you're listening to them,
Right.
that you're working with them, that you care about them, and that you value their contribution to the company. And that you also are very clear what their job description is. Your job description as a manager is to manage.
Right.
You need to manage all of these working pieces, all of these working components of this company to make sure that it works well. And if one of them is having trouble, you need to fix it, but you need to make sure that you've included them in the solution, because
Right.
you don't want to run into the same problem again.
Right.
That gives your employees a lot of confidence in you.
Absolutely. How far is education important in acquiring these skills?
I think it's critical, and I think it's your job as a manager and a leader that if you are hiring an employee to do a particular job, and if they are qualified at that time, that's great.
Right.
If you are willing to provide them with the training, then you get them the best training possible. If over the course of their employment with you, the job description changes, advances, becomes more technical, or you've added job descriptions, it's your job
Right.
to make sure that they're aware of the new job description, to make sure that they're in agreement with that,
Right.
and to make sure that they're prepared. So if you need to send them for training, if you need to send them to acquire further education,
Right.
that's your job. But to just throw the job on them and expect them to do it well without making sure that they know what's going on, then that's your job. Then you have fallen down as a leader and you've fallen down as a manager.
Absolutely, because until unless you're providing them the skills, how can you expect them to perform in a good manner?
Yeah, exactly.
So at that time, how do you feel towards them? If you could let us know that how to acquire those skills. One is through education, through attending some courses and all that. But what about getting, kind of getting some advice from a person who's already in that particular field?
Yes.
Like getting a mentor or getting some advice from people like you, business consultant. How can this be an asset to the company?
I think it's a huge asset. I mean, that's why I started doing what I'm doing. I've been in corporate management for 15 years.
Right.
So I have the experience. For me, the best education was experience.
Right.
And you can go to school and you can learn all these technical things. You can read and read and read. I find that I love reading a lot of articles from other managers to see what the kind of problems they've faced. I mean, I've faced so many different types of problems and
Right.
found solutions. And you do learn a lot by experience. And I think
Right.
it's critical that you ask for help. Asking for help as a leader is a strength.
Right.
It
It's
shows
not a weakness. It should not be a weakness. Many a times
Yeah.
we think this way. That if I
Absolutely.
ask for help, what are people going to say? Or, it's going to be different. I'm the leader. I'm the boss of this particular organization. Right.
Well, that shows also that you've got really important things to do.
Right.
But that you're a strong enough leader to recognize that there are issues. So you should bring someone in
Right.
to deal with those issues. Just because you're doing other things, you're not just doing that one thing. As a manager, you've got your hands in everything. You
Right.
have to. That's your job. And asking for help, I think, is a very, very good thing. And there's good people that do that. I love to do that. And
Right.
like I said, I started my business. I started consulting because I saw a need.
Right.
And people would come to me all the time and they would say, I don't know what to do. Can you
Right.
help me with this? Can you help me with that? And I was so happy because I
Right.
would give them the solution and see the result. And they
Right.
would say to me, this wasn't that hard. I said, no, you just have to ask for the help and you can do it. I think
Absolutely.
it's a really good sign of a strong leader if you ask for help.
Thank you very much for this information.
Thank you.
ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਦਰਸ਼ ਸਿੱਧੂ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੀਡਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਅਤੇ ਮੈਨੇਜਮੈਂਟ ਸਕਿੱਲਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਕਿਉਂ ਉਹ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਨੇ, ਜਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਕਵਾਇਰ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਪੜ੍ਹਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ। ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਮੁੱਖ ਤੌਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਦੀ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਰਮਾਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਮਦਦ ਮੰਗਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਬੈਸਟ ਟੀਚਰ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਹੈ ਉਹਦਾ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਮਯਾਬ ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ।